Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and for a midweek preview, previewing all of this week's Champions League and Championship action. Starting off in the Champions League and with a huge game, Atletico Madrid versus Liverpool. I really can't wait for this. We saw in the weekend just how good Liverpool are. And yeah, carrying it into the Champions League against a really good side like Atletico. I can't wait for this one. I think it'll be a great game, end to end. But yeah, I don't think there'll be much to separate the two sides. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Moving on, Club Brugge take on Manchester City at Club Brugge's stadium. I have no idea what it's called. But yeah, this should be a game where Man City should be winning comfortably, in my opinion. Yeah, Club Brugge are a good side, I'm sure they are. Don't really know much about them, but Man City, with some of the players they have, even resting a few players, which I imagine Pep Guardiola will. We know how much he likes to rotate. I think it'll be a comfortable win for them regardless. So I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to Wednesday's Champions League action, and Chelsea host Malmo at Stamford Bridge. And yeah, it's kind of copy and paste for the Man City one, really. Great opportunity for Chelsea to rest some players, give some of the fringe players a go, and even then you still expect them to beat Malmo pretty comfortably. So yeah, definitely got no worries about Chelsea for this game. I think it'll be a comfortable win, and I'll say 3-0 this time, why not? Moving on then, Manchester United take on Atalanta in a huge game for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yeah, obviously it really hasn't been going his way recently, and this is a big game for them because there's still no guarantees that they qualify with that defeat to the young boys. Atalanta are on 4 points, so yeah, they really need to win this game, to be honest, and I think they will. I just think they will have enough. Ronaldo magic maybe, or something, but yeah, I just kind of feeling this is a must-win game, and I think they will do it. It'll be scrappy, but I think they'll do it. Moving on then to this week's Championship action, and we've got a full week of action, starting off with Bristol City versus Forest, and yeah, this is an interesting one. Bristol City, obviously, they just don't win home matches. Real step back last time out against Bournemouth at Ashton Gates. They'll be looking to bounce back. But Forest, you know, they're on a real big roll at the moment. Won the last 3, 4 of the last 5. And as it's at home, probably decreases the chance of Bristol winning. So I'm going to say a draw, 1-1. Moving on, Derby host Luton at Pride Park. It was a big game for both sides. Derby, 5 points from the last 9. It's been a really solid run for Wayne Rooney, to be fair. With everything he's having to deal with, he's done exceptionally well. They're now just only 5 points behind Peterborough. So, you know, they're not in a dreadful position. 6 points off safety. And Luton, really solid win last time out now. They're up to 10th. So, yeah, we're looking to build on momentum. But it'll be a tough game for them. And I can see Wayne Rooney's been grinding out another draw. Moving on, QPR host Blackburn at Loftus Road. QPR, yeah, they're on a pretty solid run at the moment. They won 2 of the last 3, but obviously took that pacing against Fulham last night, so they'll be looking to bounce back. But Blackburn, 1 point from the last 3, and yeah, they were 2-0 up, so you could kind of say the boss of it. So yeah, they're in a bit of a shaky run at the moment, so they'll be looking to bounce back from that. And I think they will. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on, Sheffield United host Millwall at Bramall Lane, and Sheffield United will be hoping that turnaround against Stoke can kickstart their season. How many times have we said this about Sheffield United? But they need something too. Millwall, it did look like it was picking up before the break, but yeah, that loss to Luton kind of really sets things back a bit. So they'll be looking to, you know, build some momentum here. But for Sheffield United, it should be a game where I think they'll be targeting a win, and I do think they will get a win. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on, Stoke host top of the table Bournemouth at the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke in 5th, and yeah, obviously they'll be disappointed with what happened in the Sheffield United game. And yeah, it's a tough game for them to bounce back. But except for that, both teams are on unbelievable form, looking really, really good. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this game, because I think it'll be a close one, and I do think it could end up being a draw. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw, but it should be a great game. Moving on, Huddersfield host Birmingham at the John Smith Stadium, and yeah, I'm really interested in this one. Huddersfield, obviously 2-0 win against Hull last time out, 7 points from their last 9. After losing 2 in the trot before that, they're on a really good run again now. But Birmingham, it just really hasn't clicked since their last international break. 1-0 against West Brom last time out. It wasn't a dreadful performance, but still a loss. And I can see Huddersfield compiling more misery. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on, Hull take on Peterborough in a game which I can imagine will be really scrappy, quite low quality. Both teams losing last time out. And yeah, Hull win with 9 points, Peterborough with 8 points. I think it's kind of a must-not-lose game for either of these sides, otherwise you could kind of easily see them getting cut adrift at the bottom of the table, so they'll really want to avoid that. I can see it being quite scrappy, and I think there will be a share of the spoils. I'm going to say 1-1. Moving on, Middlesbrough host Barnsley at the Riverside. Middlesbrough, yeah, they've got quite the injury list at the moment, lots of injuries, but yeah, still picked up a decent win last time out. Barnsley, their performance improved against Reading, but you know, it's still really poor from them. The defending for Reading's goal was awful. So yeah, they'll definitely be looking to bounce back here. But Middlesbrough, hopefully the international break was a bit of a turning point for them. And I can see them going on a bit of a run now. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on, Preston host Coventry at Deepdale. And Preston, yeah, they just need a win, to be honest. They haven't had a win in the league since 28th of August. And Blackburn, it's been inconsistent for them recently. Coventry, it's been inconsistent for them recently. So yeah, they'll just need a win here, and again it's winnable to kind of get them back on track. But I do think it will be a draw, and I'm going to say 1-1. Should be a tight one. Moving on, Fulham host Cardiff at Craven Cottage, and yeah, this is only going one way surely. Fulham, they were back to their best last night, 4-1 win against a good side like QPR. Cardiff now have lost 6 in a row, and yeah, they just don't look great at all. That defeat against Swansea was just so bad, just absolutely dreadful. And against Fulham, who for me are a lot better side than Swansea this season, I think it could be a bad one. I'll say 3-0, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it's more. Moving on, Swansea host West Brom at the Liberty Stadium. Swansea, yeah, obviously they'll be buoyed by that win, 3-0. Hopefully it's a turning point, because Russell Martin's side haven't had the best starts of the season against the West Brom side, who got a sort of win against Birmingham last night. So both teams will hopefully come into this full of confidence. But yeah, if you just look at the two sides, the managers, I just think West Brom have that little bit more than Swansea. But Swansea, I can actually see them nicking a point. I'm going to say 1-1. Moving on, Reading take on Blackpool. And yeah, Reading, really solid win last time out. Weren't at their best, Bino still a win, and they're on a really solid run now under Veljko Paunovic. Blackpool may be disappointed to lose to Forest, but you know, 15th in the table, they would have taken that at this time of the season. So you know, I still think they'll be going into this one relatively confident. But for Reading, I think it's a game that they'll be targeting, thinking that they really want to win. So I'm going to say a 2-0 home win. But anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching, and to like, share, subscribe, and thoughts, comments down below. Follow and link in the description below for daily football news, and subscribe to my channel, subscribe, and all that, greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.